All right, let's go ahead and get started. So obviously this is May and I've been talking to a lot of y'all all day. I know I have some texts from y'all that y'all replied to that I haven't gotten a chance to read yet. So I'll just get back to those ASAP. But I wanted to kind of go over just some of the stuff that I talked with a lot of y'all about today, which is like going over your goals and like the things that you're wanting to do this month and what you're thinking as far as promotions and things for your team and goals that you have for yourself and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go over some announcements too that they talked about. Oh my word. Literally no piece of technology of mine works right now. But I'm going to go over some of the announcements that we talked about too on the Sunday night family call last night. I know Nadia posted them in the team page. Thank you for that. There they are. I'm going to go over these in the team Zoom too, but I wanted to go over them here. So if you haven't seen the family call, go ahead and watch that from last night. It was really, really good. And also if you haven't seen Nadia's post, go check that out and tag your teams in that too, or just make sure that they're aware of all the new stuff that's going on. So first thing, Slimming Gummies is back on pick 2, pick 3, 30% off of apparel. I did hear from Cami. Oh my gosh, hang on. I did hear from Cami last week that they're going to start adding BV to apparel, which is cool. So I don't know when that's going to start. I think they said the fall. So they'll start adding BV to apparel. I know I don't really push apparel because I'm like, if I want my DTs to spend money, it better be on products, but now we'll get BV on it. So that's good. That starts in the fall, but it's 30% off right now. And if you're getting on, like if you're coming to fall conference or if you're getting to events, having something to wear there is going to be super important. So be sure that you check that out. They also have really cute stuff and it's pretty comfy now and it's pretty casual. So it's actually cute. And then free shipping on orders over $99 is back. 10% over orders of $200 for loyal customers. That's back too. That's only for new loyal customers. $300 Ruby bonus is still around for new team members that earn it their first month. So remember that is if they join April 3rd or later, because April 2nd or later. If they joined April 1st, they had the whole month of April, but if they joined April 2nd or later, they have till the end of this month because it's a full calendar month that they get to be able to promote. New DTs have 4 months to go after the banquet bonuses, meaning they have 4 months to hit diamond, double, emerald, triple, as many as they can do. Existing team members can earn a first time banquet and stack it bonus in May, but you have to purchase a conference plus pass ticket. So be sure you have your conference plus pass ticket. Who in the leadership chat, 'cause I'm going to ask this again tonight on the team Zoom, but who in here, I'll just say does not have, I'll just say who does have their conference ticket because I don't want to like call anybody out if you don't have your conference ticket. But if you don't yet, if it's like a money thing or whatever, totally get that. Go get somebody fast started and get your conference ticket. You're going to want to have that because even though we're all getting together, you're going to want the $39 codes. You're going to want the perks that come with that. You want that extra TFX that you can give away. A lot of my girls that were new that are getting their tickets, they're using that for an incentive for people to buy products. So they're saying that the next customer that signs up with them or that all their customers that sign up with them that week or whatever will go into a drawing for it. So that's kind of how my newbies are using it. Payback commission, super doable too if you want to just do it that way. So make sure that you are getting your ticket though, because that's the reload thing too. I know, shout out to Elisa and Alexis who both earned a reload bonus last month. That's super exciting. So I know a lot of y'all are about to earn your own reload bonuses. I'm looking at a couple of you. I won't call you out, but I know that y'all are going to earn your reload bonuses this month. And so, and y'all are shooting for it this month and you have until June also. So don't wait until June, but you do have until June to earn that reload bonus, but you have to have your conference plus pass ticket. Okay. So be sure that you get that. That unlocks the reload for you too. And then also the Pentecost Island. Y'all, when they announced that last night, I have been dying to go to the Pentecost Island. Like when we went to the premiere, if y'all remember that back in, what was that, February, January? I can't remember what month it was, but whenever we went there, they were like, we're going to dinner at this exclusive place. And I was like, it's the island. It's the island. And they took us to the hangar where they had the plane and the helicopter and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're flying to the island. And then we had the dinner there. And I was like, oh, well, I'm so really thankful, but also I want to go to the island. And so then they announced it last night, and I was like, oh, yes, I have to get there. So, guys, like, and I know Kelsey, I don't know if she's on here, but Kelsey already texted me and she was like, I'm going to the island with you. Like, we're doing this. I'm so sick of counting myself out. I'm sick of not getting to go to these things. So, I'm going to the island with you. Let's do this. Let's go. So anyways, I'm super excited about that. And I want y'all to claim that. You have 2 months to earn this. And I know some of you aren't diamond yet, but like they said last night on the family call, if you go diamond by the end of June, you can still be there. And I guarantee that there are going to be diamonds that promote in May and June who show up there. Haley, I'm looking at you. I don't know where you are on my screen, but I know so many of y'all are about to promote. There you are, about to promote to diamond. And I want to see y'all go. And there, I mean, diamonds and doubles that are already on here, triples. Of course, I want y'all to go too, but I think it's so powerful that y'all are going to see people that you don't even know who they are. I don't even know so many of the people that are coming to Winner's Circle with me and Macy. Like, we're going to meet so many people that I'm like, I don't even know who they are yet. And they're diamonds, they're doubles. So I don't want to see y'all count yourself out for that. And if you're not diamond yet, get there so that you can get to the Winner's Circle. For that's going to be in August. So don't forget, you do have May and June to qualify for that, but that is super exciting. You get points the same way that you always do, getting your Plus Pass conference ticket, enrolling customers, enrolling distributors, and helping them promote. So same as always, and it's all in your document library and eSuite if you want like actual specifics on that. But it's the same as every other one. So it's literally anybody's game as long as you're a diamond and above. So that is super exciting. So sorry, there's something. I don't know. But the other thing I wanted to talk about too is the vision that I have for this month. So last month, just to be completely like transparent with y'all, because I know y'all are like, when are we going ambassador? Like, what are we doing? Our volume went down a little bit last month, like literally maybe 5,000. So like not that much, but I want to know that we're going like forward. And like I said too, and I don't remember if y'all, I think I posted it in the group me, like in a text. So I'm sure a lot of y'all missed it, but Cami and I talked, on last week one day in a Zoom with a bunch of people, and she was telling us something that they're coming out with, which we like signed an NDS, like disclosure, saying that we wouldn't say anything. We didn't sign it, but we like verbally did with our eyeballs. Like, we're not going to tell people if you tell us. So I can't say what it is, but what I can say is that every single one of y'all are going to be really, really excited about it. All of us are going to make more money, and all of your newbies are going to get super hype about it. And it's going to help you with volume. That's all I'll say. So what I want you to do now is everything in your power to set your people up for success and set yourself up for success before you find out what that is. It's getting announced this month, but they didn't say when. I was like, could you do it like May 1st at 12:01 a.m.? Like, that would be fantastic. I don't know when it's going to be. I'm thinking maybe like the middle of the month, or I hope it's not the very end. It couldn't be because of what it is. Maybe it'll be on the family call this week, like on the 8th. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, know that that's coming. Know that there are big things coming. Know that corporate sees all the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. They see where your volumes are at. They see promotions that are coming, promotions that are not coming in. They see all the things. So just know that like they're on the same page as us, and they're like, okay, let's rev it up. Let's crank it up. And so we need more volume to go ambassador. Like, I feel like a lot of the promotions are happening for us to hit ambassador, but I just think that we really need more volume. And we know that that's like always been the thing that we need the most of, and the thing that we've been missing to hit ambassador. So, my plan this month is to go all in for it. Like, I'm going for it, but I'm not like saying like 100%, yeah, we're going to hit it, because there's so many things that have to come together for that to happen. But I am hopeful that our volume is going to get at least close to where we need it to be. And then we kind of have to follow the trends of the company too. Just ambassador is so different than any other promotion. And it's really hard to just be like, we're going to hit it by June of this year. Like, I don't know what that looks like, like there's so many moving parts. So I hope that makes sense. But I want y'all to know I'm still going for it. I'm over being presidential. At this point, I'm just like, whenever I am presidential, like, we're going for top 10. Like, I want to do that. Like, as a presidential, screw that. Like, if I'm going to be presidential, I'm going to be the best one that I can be. But I want to go ambassador, and I want to get that 2.0. And I want us to just like be an ambassador team, because I feel like we deserve that, and we have that leadership on our team. So I'm really excited for it. That's my game plan. My game plan is to make sure that I am making the most out of the compensation plan. And that's going to include doing things like enrolling distributors, enrolling customers, and helping them get started, helping people pop to Ruby, helping personally enrolled people go Diamond. Those are all the things that I'm going to be focused on. And I know that whenever I focus on raising my paycheck, ambassador comes with that. Like, you're going to go ambassador. I'm going to be ambassador when I'm focused on doing all the right things. So steps to success, super huge. I mentioned today in the group me, if y'all missed it, that if any of y'all beat me to your steps of success, I'll give you $100. Good freaking luck. Just signed a DT and 3 LCs. So you better hurry up, because I'm coming for it. I'm not letting y'all beat me. So let's go. Macy just signed a customer whenever she was hopping on here. She was like, I'm about to, okay, Macy's coming. Okay, all right, let's go then. Okay, so here's the deal. I'll give you $100, first person to beat me. But I do truly, like, I actually want, like, I don't want any of y'all to beat me, because it's going to really hurt my pride. But also, I want y'all to beat me. Like, I want y'all to freaking go for this, because I want you to prove to yourself that you can. Because I think a lot of you count yourselves out of a lot of things. And I want you to prove to yourself that, like, shoot, I did, or I came really freaking close, and I've never worked that hard, that intentionally before, and to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than what you've been doing. And so that's the point of this, and just to help us all focus on our steps to success. So that's what I want y'all to be preaching to your teams this whole month, is you doing your steps and talking about it, and talking about how close you are to completing yours, and then talking to them about theirs. Like, I had a lot of people that I texted this morning, my new distributors, and I told them, I was like, what are your goals? Remember, we had the steps of success every month, blah, 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 sent them what that was. And they were like, well, I want to sign one girl said, I want to sign 4 customers a week, and I want to get at least 1 distributor. I said, no, your goal needs to be minimum steps of success. So we're going to change that to 3 distributors. And if you want to get 4 customers a week, go for it. But we need 3 people being added. And then I got to talk to a lot of them about the importance of getting distributors, because they're all so customer focused that they're not getting the value of signing distributors, helping them build their teams, helping them grow their charts, helping them promote, and also getting fast starts. And that's where the duplication comes in, and that's where these people start spinning their wheels, and they're here for 3 months, get frustrated because they don't make a lot of money, but all they did was enroll customers, right? And then after those 3 months, those people are gone, and that's why your volume's like this, because they're there for 3 months, then they quit, and all their customers die off after 3 months. Then you get it again, and then you know what I'm saying? And I think that that's where we're missing the mark. So if you want better retention in your teams, teach them about distributors, but make sure that you're being super loud about the steps to success, because that's super huge. Okay, so I know a lot of us talked today about like April, and just like, how are you feeling this month versus last month? And I think most of us, and this isn't for everybody, so don't feel like you have to group yourself in with these people, because there are times where everybody's like, last month sucked, and I'm like, that was my best month, so I don't know what y'all are talking about. But okay, like in November or December, I think Shay was like, I had my best paycheck of the whole year. And a lot of us were like, ooh, not mine. But like, so don't group yourself in with these people if that's not you. It doesn't have to be you. But I think a lot of us can agree that April was a weird month. Like, a lot of us kind of felt the same thing. Like, it was just like weird. I know for me, I was open with y'all about how it was a weird month for me. I talked to Mary Beth about it. I didn't feel myself. I was very in my feelings and my emotions, and like I didn't let it stop me. I completely messed up success. Like I did what I was supposed to do, but like my heart didn't feel in it. And I know that a lot of y'all felt the same way. And whether you talked to me last month or talked to me about this month, like I did the things I was supposed to do, but it didn't feel the same. And my excitement wasn't the same. And so I just want you to know that if that was you, I want you to know that you can start fresh this month. And I know a lot of you are. I had a couple of conversations with y'all this morning, who were like, yeah, last month wasn't the best, but I had a crap mindset and I'm getting it together this month and I'm ready to go. I'm going after my promotion and I'm not going to let that hold me back. And I know there are some of you on here who were so close to your promotions and you barely missed it, but I want you to remind yourself that you did everything you could. And if you did all you could and you gave 100%, that is all that you can ever ask of yourself. And that's all that could ever be asked of you. And you should not feel bad about that. You should not feel guilty about that. And you should look at your paycheck this month whenever you get to see them. And I guarantee you gave yourself a pay raise because you went after that promotion, even if you missed it. And there are many times in my business where I've gotten a pay raise that didn't come with a promotion. I just got a pay raise because I kept doing the things that I knew to do and I was being faithful in that. So not saying don't go for a promotion. Do not hear me say that. But I'm saying for those of you who missed that, don't let that define you. Don't let that carry into this month. Don't let yourself get just beat yourself up over it because it happened. And Macy didn't promote last month, but she ended her month happy with her efforts. That's where I want y'all to be. And if you're not, know that you have the power to change that. Because I had a lot of conversations with a lot of you too who said, I was like, what are you going to do different than last month? And I had at least 2 of you that I can think of off the top of my head say, well, I'll actually work this month, or I'm going to do everything that I didn't do in April. Like I'm going to do the complete opposite of what I did in April because I want to be where I'm not. Like I want to promote. I want to move forward. And that's what I'm asking. Like, go for it. You have that power. If you're not where you want to be, if you're not doing the things that you want to do, you can change that. So shake April off and put on May and just say, you know what, this is going to be different. And I'm choosing now to step forward. And it's only the 3rd. Even if for the last 2 days, you still carried that funk from April over, change it. Make the decision now that this is going to be your month, that you are going to move forward. And I'm not just talking about a promotion. I know a lot of y'all went double a couple of months ago, and a lot of y'all are shooting for double now. The jump from double to triple doesn't always happen in 1 month. For me, it took 2 months, but it doesn't always happen in that short of a time frame. Even if you're a double shooting for triple and you don't feel like it's within your grasp this month, it can still be your month because you can still show up and do your steps to success, teach duplication, get your fast start bonuses, maximize the compensation plan, increase your volume, work on that 3rd leg. There's always things that you can be doing even if you're not promoting. Think about me for the last 2 years. The last 2 years haven't been a promotion month for me. Although I've worked like they weren't a promotion month for me, but I've still shown up and I've still won the day. I've still won the month and I've still felt good about where I was because I showed up, and I want y'all to feel that way too, even if you're not promoting. Does that make sense? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Just want to know you're still with me tracking. Okay. What was the next thing? Okay, so the next thing I wanted to say too is that you get to be the thermostat and not the thermometer for your team. Okay, and I don't remember what book I heard that from. Maybe Rachel Simpson knows. I know she's like nodding her head like, yes, girl. Oh, she doesn't remember either. Okay, but and it may have just been a podcast, or somebody else, I don't remember. Maybe Secrets of Millionaire Mind, I think. But he talks about, whoever it is, talks about being a thermostat, not a thermometer. And if you're like, what does that mean? Well, think about it. What does a thermostat do and what does a thermometer do? A thermostat changes the temperature of the room, and a thermostat just tells you what the temperature of the room is. Be a thermostat. Be the leader that decides for your team what the attitude is going to be like for your team. What is the emotion going to be for your team? What is the excitement level going to be for your team? What is the speed going to be? The pace going to be for your team? You get to decide that by being the thermostat and leading from the front, talking about steps of success. That's one way that you can be a thermostat. Being a thermometer is somebody who walks in the room and says, oh, well, everybody's Emotions are down, everybody's attitude's down, nobody's really working, so that's what I'll do too. That's a thermometer. You're just going in, reading the room, seeing what it looks like, and just going with the flow. Seeing what is going on and just going with that, instead of deciding that you have the power to change the culture of your team. You have the power. If nobody in your team is working, number one, are you working? Because a lot of the times our teams reflect us as leaders. It's a mirror. So if we're not working, they probably aren't either. Number two, if you are working, you truly are putting in the work, how are your enrollments? Because if you're enrolling your Steps to Success every month, you should have someone who is excited on your team, even if they joined 2 days ago. Because you are constantly getting new blood, there shouldn't be a whole entire team of just dead legs at every place. Do you know what I mean? So I want you to be the thermostat and not the thermometer. I want you to be the person that walks in and says, you know what? I don't like this about my team. And then I'm not talking about like the team as in the people. I'm talking about the team as in the culture. Not saying like, well, I don't like this about Peyton and Emily and Kayla. I'm saying, well, their moods or their excitement or their passion seems to be down. And I'm not talking about them. This is just an example. So I'm going to change that. What can I do to help Kayla, Peyton, and Emily get their passion up? Maybe I'll do a coaching call with them. If they're teachable, they're going to listen to what I have to say, and I'm going to love on them, and I'm going to work with them and get their charts out. We're going to do things that we haven't been doing before to change the culture and the excitement on our team. And I'm going to lead that from the front. Maybe I create a group chat with all three of us and I name it something like Going Ruby, because they're all shooting for Ruby. And so I'm going to name it Going Ruby, or Peyton goes Ruby, Emily goes Ruby, Kayla goes Ruby. I know Sarah shared that tip at the last leader Zoom or whatever Zoom that was. And so if you do those things and you get them excited again, talk about every time that you enroll, show them that you're leading from the front, talk about the exciting things that are happening in the company, talk about how excited you are about the family call, the announcements that are being made, all those different things. So be a thermostat and ask yourself, like, have you been a thermostat or have you been a thermometer? You get to change that. If you've been a thermometer, maybe that's why your team isn't working whenever you're hoping that they will. It's because you're just reading the room and you're just accepting it for what it is instead of deciding that you have the power to change it. The other thing that I liked from the family call last night was whenever Cammie was talking and she said, did y'all get on the family call last night? It was really good. I was getting groceries and I was like listening in the car, and like the guy at the cash register was listening to it too. But I was just listening to the family call throughout whatever I was doing. And on my way home, I guess so towards the end of the call, Cammie was talking about how she like always plays cards with her grandpa, so Mark's dad. If y'all have ever been to conference and y'all have seen Mark's dad, put a 2 in the chat. He's the cutest little thing. He's just like a little nugget. I just want to put him in my pocket. He is so cute. So whenever she was on the family call, she was talking about how they always play cards together, and she would like get ticked off about the cards that she had, and she was like, oh my gosh, these cards suck, whatever. And then if they were on the same team, he'd look at her and he'd say, Cammie, you're not ever going to get better cards until you play with the ones you've been given. And I was like, ooh. And she was like, it's that way in our business. Like, you're not going to be able to get new cards unless you play with the ones that you've been given, just like your team. Some of y'all complain about the team that you have, but where are your enrollments at? Have you been completing your Steps to Success? Have you been faithful with the distributors that you have on your team? Have you been a thermostat for them? Have you been changing the culture? Have you been diving into leadership books and podcasts and all the different things that you can be to help them? Or are you just waiting for that runner to come? Because I can guarantee you, most of us are wanting a runner, right? I think everybody, even if you have runners, I have a lot of runners on my team. I would love a runner. I'd love another one. Who wouldn't want another runner? But what a lot of us get distracted by or confused by or expect is for these runners to just pop, for them to just come. For us to start to sign up and then just start enrolling, in the first 3 people we sign up, they're all runners. or one of them is a runner. But what she was talking about on there, and this is so true, and it's been true for me, is that you have to put sweat into that. Like, there are blood, sweat, and tears that go into getting those runners, so finding those people, and it's power in numbers. So if you haven't found your runner yet, how many people have you enrolled? And I know for Brooke, I'll just call you out for it because it's a good thing. So Brooke was struggling for a long time saying, like, I really need a runner. Like, I want a runner. I want a runner. And she'd be honest and tell you she wasn't doing her steps to success every month. But then this year, she decided, you know what? Screw that. I'm doing my steps to success. I want to make sure that I'm getting on these top enroller like shout outs. I also want to get on these Zooms with Pam and Cami and whoever else is doing these Zooms for steps to success people. I want to get on those. And so she made a decision for herself. And now she has 2 or 3 runners that are on every single Zoom that I've done coaching calls with, who are going Ruby, going Emerald, part of her Diamond chat. But she decided to do well with the cards that she was dealt. She didn't give up on those people, but she also kept enrolling people. And so don't forget that you have to put the blood, sweat, and tears into it. Stop thinking that the people that you have right now have to be your runners. Go find new people. At a very minimum, your team should be growing by 3 new people every single month. And those come from you. And your team should be doing the same thing. But let's say you don't have anybody on your team working. Well, in the next 3 months, you're going to have 9 new people minimum. Because you're going to be enrolling them. Because you're doing your steps of success. Do you think out of those 9 people, 1 might be a runner? Yeah, they might be. And I don't remember who I was talking to this. Maybe I think it was on Tara's team Zoom last week. I was like, we underestimate what can happen in a couple of months. We overestimate, whatever. It doesn't matter. I said the quote wrong, but we underestimate what can happen in a couple of months because you're thinking where you are right now, but think about these $39 codes that you got from your Plus Pass. You're using these $39 codes, and a lot of you are like, oh, maybe I'll get somebody charted for Ruby. You know, if I can get 3 people, then I can get charted for Diamond. But what we forget about, and what I think that we need to expand our vision for, is what if one of those people we sign with those $39 codes this week goes Diamond in 30 days? But I bet a lot of you haven't even thought about it that way. And it's okay if you haven't. I used to not think about it that way either. Why? Because it had never happened for me before. But it happened for other people. So why was it any different for me? It's because I wasn't claiming it. It's because I wasn't manifesting it. It's because I wasn't speaking it out. But I know that if Courtney Bohr can sign people who go Diamond in 30 days, I sure as heck can too. And now I have. I've had people promote really quickly. I know Bree, whenever she signed up, and she doesn't maybe even know this, but it was the month that I was going for ambassador last year. I think it was in June, right? No, it was in April. It was in the end of April because you just had your 1 year. So it was at the end of April. We were getting charted for ambassador. At that point, we still weren't. And so I had her at like a 400. I don't even know why I'm looking at this chart because it's completely different. But there was a 400 box somewhere on my chart that wasn't quite at 400. It was like at 100. And I was trying to stack everybody, right, to try to get everybody to 400. Bree signed up and she was one of the people that I just stacked because that's what I was doing at that time. I stacked Bree under a 400 box, under Ruby, hoping that she could help that 400 box get to 400 so that I could promote. Bree ended up that month, or I guess it was in May or whatever, but she ended up going Ruby in like 2 weeks. And she didn't just finish that 400 box. She took over that whole leg. And instead of being a 400 box stacked under a Ruby, she was that Ruby. I think about people like Tessie Carter, who was stacked under a 400 box for Kelly to go to ambassador. She's Kelly's presidential now. Like, we underestimate things that can happen in such a short amount of time. So I think we have to remind ourselves that we have the ability to sign people in the next week, in the next month, in the next year who will completely change our business. And I don't want you to just believe that it's possible. I want you to be expectant of that. I want you to expect that every person that you sign up is that person that's going to go Diamond in 30 days. What I don't want you to do is give up on them if they don't run right away, because we know that that's not always the case either. We know that there are people in this business like Christy Christensen who didn't work for the first 3 months. People like Cami who didn't even get a distributor for 6 months, who ended up both being incredible rock stars in this business. Okay, so that's not what I want. But I want you to expect huge, big things coming for your for these people that are signing up with you. I want you to work with this mentality that things are changing in your favor. I want you to start manifesting that for yourself. Because why not you? Why does this happen to certain people and not you? The only thing I can think of is because you're not expecting it to. You're not believing for it. You're not looking for it. You're not searching it out. You're not seeking it out. And so I know whenever I started doing that, I started getting it, because you get what you think about. You get what you speak about. Whatever you speak about, you bring about. So I want you to start talking about those things, but I also don't want you to forget or lose sight of the fact that it's not just getting 3 distributors to help somebody go Ruby. That's a really short-sighted, narrow, lack vision. But if you want like an abundant vision, if you want a big, audacious mentality and vision for your business, I want you to remind yourself that literally anything is possible and anything can change in the next week, in the next month, in the next year. But you are the catalyst for that, because you have to believe and you have to enroll. And if you're not doing those 2 things, you're not going to see the fruit of that, because there's no way you're going to enroll your next diamond this week if you don't enroll anybody this week. But those who do have the opportunity for that to happen for them. And so some of you right now feel so stuck in your situation, feeling like, oh, right now I just really would love to re-maintain Emerald because that's all I can see for, because I'm really not enrolling that much. No one on my team is working. But you forgot that one of the people that you sign up in the next month could end up going triple diamond in the next year. And you go from barely maintaining Emerald to being a presidential, all because you started with one. That's why steps to success is so important. Don't get overwhelmed in trying to mass enroll. Quality over quantity. And I'm not saying you can't have both, because I sign a lot of people and a lot of them are good. So do both. Don't limit yourself. But don't get so overwhelmed feeling like you have to be this mass enroller to get anywhere in your business. If you could sign 6 customers and 3 distributors and teach your team to do the same thing, you can go ambassador in this business. And it might even be faster than a mass enroller. Sherry Lynn and I joined about the same time. Sherry Lynn, I think, joined in like June, and I joined in October of the same year. That hurts a little bit sometimes, but it's fine, because we all have different journeys, so I don't compare myself to her. But if I did, ouch, but it's fine. So she completes her steps of success. Double ambassador, millionaire mom, all the things. I'm a mass enroller, not yet ambassador, will be soon, will be double ambassador, also will be black diamond, also will be number 2 one day like she is or was or whatever. So I know I'm going to get there, but I'm just letting you know that you can do your steps of success and get there, and it doesn't mean you're going to get there slower. But you're going to get there a heck of a lot faster than right now where you're at, trying to be a mass enroller and not even getting your steps because you feel so overwhelmed that you paralyze yourself. Make sense? Put a 2 in the chat. If you're like, oh, shoot. Okay. So I just want to give you that vision, because as I was talking to them on Tara's team Zoom, I was like, this is what I needed to think about, because I can get in those same ruts of just feeling like, all right, well, I'm going to sign somebody and stick them under a $400 and hope that they get some volume and maybe they'll get their shopping spree. But I forget that they could be my next runner, my next rock star. So the other thing I wanted to say too is on that, like, think about when the last time that you were the most excited in your business. It was probably when you enrolled your last runner, right? I know Sarah gets so excited whenever she signs a runner. She's like, oh my gosh. And she can't stop talking about it. She's so excited. She's like, they did this, they did that, they did this. And she's so hype. And then she feeds off that energy. Now, is Sarah consistent even if her people aren't working? Yeah, she is. But Sarah is excited when she's enrolling runners. Well, can we control enrolling runners? No, but we can control our enrollments. And if we enroll, we know that we're going to enroll runners, right? Same with Carly. I know Carly had some runners last summer and she was killing it. And she was like, oh my gosh, this is literally the most amazing thing that I've ever had happen. And everybody on my team is so excited. Think about the last time that you enrolled a rock star. That was probably the last time that you were so excited in your business. And it's so funny. I just called like 2 different people out, but all of y'all do that. I do that. I'll tell Susan and Cammie and everybody, like they'll all know y'all's names whenever y'all are running, like y'all are rock stars. I sign somebody and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck is happening? The floodgates are opening and this is just like heaven pouring out blessings on my team. Let's go. Think about the last time that you did that. You were enrolling runners. Go enroll people. I know I'm like beating a dead horse, but I want some of y'all to catch the vision for what I'm talking about. Like, go enroll a runner. And yeah, it is that simple. I know some of y'all are like, well, I wish it was that easy. But it is. It's just doing the same things every day. It's just putting the work in. It's just being confident. It's just believing in yourself. It's just stop telling yourself the lies that you've been telling yourself as to why you can't do this and to why your every single month has to look the exact same as the last month did. If you're sick of April looking like March and sick of March looking like February and you're scared that May is going to look like April, stop doing the same thing you've been doing. Get out of that rut, get out of that same habit that you've been putting yourself in over and over and over again, because you can be the thermostat. Decide that for yourself. Okay, so I know that people in the chat today too were talking about the Sabbath and guilt and things like that they were feeling from the Sabbath and like taking a Sabbath. So if you didn't see the question, Kayla was talking about wanting to take a Sabbath, but I think she said she never has because she felt guilty about it. Because she felt like she needed to talk to her potentials and her distributors and all the things. Put a 3 in the chat, and you don't have to put a 3. So don't do this if you don't agree. Put a 3 in the chat if that actually is you also. It's not me, so I'm not going to put a 3. But if it is you, put a 3. Okay, so quite a lot of people. So here's the thing. I wrote a couple of notes about this, and hopefully this will help you. Number 1, it's a process and it takes time. It's not going to be something like if you've never taken a Sabbath, you've never really taken a day off. Y'all, it took me 6 years to take 1 day off from this business. And I'm not like bragging on my consistency. I'm telling you, like, I did not take breaks. So it didn't seem natural to me to take a break from this business where I didn't text anybody back, where I had an inbox full of messages that I just didn't respond to on purpose. That felt weird to me. It's odd. It's different. It's not normal. So I want you to give yourself grace and remind yourself that this is a process. It's okay if it feels a little weird at first. It probably is going to. But it takes time. Give yourself that time. Do it consistently so that you can have that space because you need it. And I'm telling you, like, y'all know I want y'all to work hard. Like, I want y'all to kill it. I want y'all to do so well at this business. So if I'm telling you to take a day off, and if I'm taking a day off, like, I feel like y'all probably know how hard I work, and I'm taking a day off, let that be your permission. I know for me, I know how hard Cammie works. So when I knew that she took a day off, it gave me permission to do that too. Okay. The other thing I wanted you to remember is that you have to remember that you're being obedient. And actually, it was funny because after I wrote this down, Regina posted in the chat and she was like, you have to remember, like, you're being obedient. And this is something that the Lord's going to bless you for doing, because we know from the Bible, like, obedience brings blessing. Okay. So when obedience brings blessing, we know that if we're taking that 7th day off, whatever that 7th day is, I don't care if it's a Wednesday or if it's half of a Thursday into a half of a Friday. Like, I don't care what that looks like for you, but I would make it the same day every week, if that's possible. I know for some of you it's not, but if it is possible, I would do that, because otherwise you're going to make excuses as to why you can't do it or why it's not a good time. And you'll push it off, and then you'll end up taking like a week and a half before you take your next Sabbath, and that's just not good. So I would definitely make sure that you are taking it the same day if possible. And just remember that you're being obedient. Like, God's going to bless that. And I've seen that, and I can give you a couple of examples in a minute. But the other thing that too is that you have to remember that the point is to remind us that the business isn't in our hands. Like, that's the point of the Sabbath, is to release control. And so I know a lot of you are like, I have to control my customers. Like, I have to hurry up and get back to these potentials. Like, if I don't get back to these potentials, then they're going to walk away. They're not going to be interested in the coffee on a Sunday, but they're only interested in the coffee on a Saturday. If you actually take a step back and think about it, like, it's not true. And you're catastrophizing this whole Sabbath thing and thinking the absolute worst that's going to happen, when really it's not. And I think those of us who have been consistent in a Sabbath, maybe Regina can talk about this too, but I've seen that. Like, I literally had potential. So on Saturday, I took a Sabbath, because it takes Sabbath every Saturday. And I post about it. So that helps me. If I post it on my story, I feel a little bit better. So I always post a slide that morning or that night before. And people know, like, if they go to try to message me and they see that I'm not responding to them, they can go into my story and they'll see the reason why I'm not messaging them back. I had a girl message me on Thursday or Friday about the business, super interested. She was an old distributor. She wants to rejoin. She messaged me because she wasn't getting any help from her upline, and she quit the business and wanted to rejoin with me because she knew that I'd be there to help her. Well, after she told me that, I didn't respond back to her for 36 hours because I was on my Sabbath, and I didn't think twice about it because I've learned not to do that. And then she messaged me on Saturday and then Sunday morning before I had a chance to look at my messages. And she said, I hope you enjoyed your Sabbath yesterday. By the way, I just wanted to let you know, blah, 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 blah. Totally fine. I could have not taken a Sabbath because I was worried of how she'd perceive me. But you also have to remember that you're giving your potentials permission to realize that they don't have to do this 24/7 to be successful. A lot of people look at me doing a Sabbath as, oh, I can be successful even if I don't work every single day on this business. Yeah, you can. You can take a day off. And a lot of my new distributors really respect that. And I cannot tell you how many times my new distributors have come back to me whenever I message them, because I messaged them the night before. I send them that message. I can give it to y'all again. I've given it to y'all a couple times in the group, but I can send it if you need me to. And I tell them I'm taking a Sabbath, just so you know, blah, 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 blah. I told them it's a day of rest. I'll get back to them on Sunday. And I tell them that the reason why I'm doing it is so that I can come back as my best self for them, because that's honestly why I do it, because I know I'm not my best self for my husband, for my friends, for my family, or for my team if I don't give myself rest and if I don't give myself time to recuperate and to pour into me. So I send them that message that night, and I come back on Sunday to messages from them that they sent like Friday night or Saturday that say, oh my gosh, enjoy your day off. Oh my gosh, that sounds great. Just do your thing. Don't worry about me. I'm good. Like, they are so supportive. And so I think, again, this is where you have to just do it. Like, you just have to try it, because it's really not as bad as you think it's going to be. Your distributors don't leave. Your team is not a dumpster fire when you come back. They are going to be fine. Your customers will still be interested. If they were going to be interested in the first place and actually place an order, they'll be there whenever you come back. And if they're not, then you just bless and release, because you know God is going to take care of your business because you were obedient to him and you gave him that time. The other thing that I said too is put your phone on airplane mode. I know Kayla was like, I just get so stressed out whenever people are texting me. And Becca was like, well, I text people back because I just feel bad. Put your phone on freaking airplane mode. Do not text anybody back. I'm giving you permission. Stop texting them back. That's not a Sabbath. I'm being serious. It's not a Sabbath. You cannot get a response from me. Rachel Morris, one of my friends, y'all know her, obviously, but she's like one of my friends outside of this business. She knows that she will not get a response if she texts me, because I don't open my texts. If she needs me that day, she calls me. I miss her call because it's on Do Not Disturb. I call her back, and she knows that that's the best way to get in contact with me. My mom, same thing. My uncle tried to call me on a Saturday, and he called my mom. He was like, Maureen didn't answer her phone. She was like, it's her Sabbath. She's not going to answer the phone. Just she'll call you back. Or he was like, I text her. He was like, she said, you got to call her. It's her Sabbath. She's not going to check your phone. So my family knows if it's Saturday and you need to get a hold of me, don't text me. I will not see it till Sunday. Because here's the thing. Yeah, I do a good accent for her. And a lot of y'all think that I'm like really exaggerating until you saw my stories this weekend and you were like, oh. Anyway, seriously though, stop responding to people's messages. You're not taking a Sabbath when you do that. When you're responding back to people, you're not pouring into yourself. That's what a Sabbath is for. So if a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, what do I do on my Sabbath? If I'm not answering messages, if I'm not doing whatever the freaking heck you want to do that makes you feel good. What my typical Sabbath looks like, I wake up at whatever time I want to. I do not have an alarm because I get to wake up whenever I want and get to sleep in as late as I want. I don't have kids yet, but I'm taking advantage of that. I'm sleeping as long as I want to. Then I wake up, I make my coffee, I sit down on the couch and I read a book, like a self-development book, and I'll read my Bible. Like I'll do all those things. Or Derek and I will go to breakfast or whatever the freaking heck I want to do. And then I make sure that I make sure though that I make time for self-development, pouring into myself spiritually, pouring into myself business-wise. That is super important for me. I do not scroll on social media. I do not look through stories. I do not look on Facebook. I do not check Instagram. And I really want to challenge y'all to do the same thing. Again, airplane mode helps with that. But that doesn't fill you up. You do that all the other 6 days of the week for work. Like for me, scrolling on social media is interacting. Like it's not relaxing, right? It's not like when I don't have to have my phone, you won't find me with my phone. Like the only reason I'll have it is because I want to take pictures. And like I'll post stuff on my stories, but it's stuff that I want to post because I want to share my own memories and have those on my Instagram for myself. It's not because I have to post, and I definitely am not posting about the business or the opportunity or the products. Okay. So, and I don't feel bad about it because I know that God's going to bless my efforts. And what I can tell you is that since I started taking a Sabbath last summer, I've taken one every single Saturday since then. My relationship with my parents has gotten 10 times better because I call them every stinking Saturday and I get to talk to them as long as I want to with no interruptions. My relationship with Derek has gotten stronger because I have actual time that I get to spend with him where we don't have divided time. And it's made me realize that my life is not going to fall apart. My business is not going to fall apart if I don't text people back for 30 minutes. My Sabbath showed me that. So now during the week, when Derek wants to have dinner with me, I don't bring my phone to dinner and feel like I have to respond to Instagram messages at dinner. My Sabbath taught me it's okay not to do that. I'm not saying don't work on your other 6 days, but I'm saying give yourself that time. It's made me more active because I feel like I can actually go to the gym and give myself that time and give myself that space. And then I'm better for it whenever I do. It's also grown my faith and reminded me that this is fine. Like everything is still the exact same that it was before I started taking Sabbath. My enrollments have not changed. They have not gone down because I took a Sabbath. I've been a better leader, I think, since taking a Sabbath. I'm a lot less snippy. I'm a lot more patient. Were you saying thank you for not being more snippy? So snippy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Brie. But honestly, like, I just feel like God's going to bless that. Like he's going to bless your obedience to him, just like we talk about with tithing. Same thing. You're tithing your time. You're giving him 1/10 of your time. Steward that time well, and he's going to expand the time that you do have. Some days I feel like I look back and I'm like, I don't even know how I got all that stuff done, but I did somehow. And I feel like God's literally expanding the time that I do have because I'm honoring him with that day. The other thing I was going to say too is, I think that was it. I think I actually covered everything without even looking at that. But it's just nothing has gone wrong since I've done my Sabbath. Yeah, people have quit, but not because I took my Sabbath. You know what I mean? It may have conveniently been on a day after I took my Sabbath, I came back and they didn't want to do it anymore. It's not because I took my Sabbath. It's not. And y'all have to stop blaming stuff that happens on your Sabbath if they happen during your Sabbath. Does that make sense? So I want to make sure that y'all remind yourself, like, what are you doing on your Sabbath too? Because a lot of y'all that are talking about being burnt out, number one, are you taking a Sabbath? Probably not. Not consistently. I would be willing to bet. This is the least burnout I've ever felt. I felt weird last month, but I think it was pregnancy stuff. I don't feel burnout. I feel excited about this business. And I know that even on my worst days, Saturday's coming. Saturday is coming. I can grind for 6 days. I can do all the FaceTimes in the world because Saturday's coming. You know what I mean? It makes me work harder because I know I want to earn that day off. And so I work super hard. It's like what Kami said on the Zoom last night. I don't want you going at 90 miles an hour 7 days a week, but maybe go at 100 miles an hour 6 days a week and then have that 7th day of rest. But you and I have talked about 78 miles an hour where you speed, but you don't kill yourself, because 100 miles an hour, you're going to run out of gas real fast. But 78 miles an hour, you are on a mission to get where you want to go, but you also know that you're going faster than the speed of everybody else, but you're not burning yourself out. You're not killing yourself those other 6 days. On my other 6 days, I'm not staying up and sleeping 4 hours a night because I need to have my Sabbath. I'm getting good rest. I'm taking time to play with Nala. I'm hanging out with Derek and cooking dinner with him and hanging out and laughing because that's my life. Like, I get to do those things, but then in the nooks and crannies, I'm also getting my stuff done. Before I start my day, I'm getting my stuff out of the way so that I can have those times where, like, I mean, I just, you fit it in. You fit it in those 6 days, and on that 7th, take that day of rest, and you have my permission to do that. If you're not, I'm actually asking you to do that, please, because I know for me, I'm better when I take my Sabbath. You're going to be a better leader, better wife, better mom when you take your Sabbath. And you're going to have those times. Like, this is really, for me, it taught me so much about that I don't have to be on my phone 24/7. I struggle with that. And I know we're all high performers and we struggle with being on our phone 24/7. Put a 4 in the chat if you're like, I could spend all day on my phone and not even realize it because I love what I do so much. Or because I just feel guilty if I don't. Okay, that's me too. Sabbath has taught me that I don't have to be that way. And I can still be successful. I took my Sabbath last year and I was number 22 income earner. That's the highest money I've ever made. That's the highest number I've ever had. And it just so happened to be the year I took my Sabbath. You don't think God's going to bless that day that you set aside for him? It doesn't even necessarily have to be like a spiritual thing for you if that's not your thing. But just know that, like, God is going to bless those efforts. He's going to bless your obedience to taking that time off. But it's shown me that even on those 6 days, I can go to the gym and not feel guilty for not having my phone. And my phone does not go into the gym with me. I leave it there. I use that time for me and for building connections with other people at the gym. So does that help Kayla and everybody else that was struggling with that? Okay. Please, for the love, don't text me back on your Sabbath. I try not to text y'all if I know when your Sabbath is. But if I text you on your Sabbath, don't respond back. It's fine. I can wait. If your Sabbath is on a random Tuesday and I don't know that, tell me on Wednesday. Hey, sorry, it was my Sabbath yesterday. Cool, no big deal. I'm glad you didn't text me back. But some of y'all, I text you on your Sabbath and you're like, and I get a response before I even close out the message with you. I'm like, I start to twitch. I'm like, don't do that. No, it's your Sabbath. Don't text me back. Give yourself that permission. Yeah, Tara. I was like, I know it's your Sabbath. Don't text me back. Text me back. I'm just messing with y'all because I know I do the same thing. Like, I would do the same thing. But put your phone on airplane mode. Do not disturb. Whatever the stinking heck you need to do. If you can't do airplane mode because you need other people to be able to get in contact with you, if you have kids or whatever, I get that. Do not disturb them. Something. I don't delete my apps. That's what somebody asked me that, because if you delete your apps, you're going to delete your TikTok reels and your TikToks and your reels, your drafts. Don't delete your app. And I wouldn't log out either. I think logging out does the same thing. So I don't delete my apps. I just put everything on do not disturb. None of my notifications are on, the whole 9 yards. Do whatever you have to do though. Like, if that means locking your phone in the closet because you don't need it all day, do that. That's fine too. Like, do something. And like, for me, whenever my family is all with me and they're on their phones and it's my Sabbath, I'll read a book or I'll like look around. Like, the room to find something that I can do that's not on my phone, because that's relaxing to me. Or I'll go for a walk if everybody else is on their phone. Like, I will find something to do so that I'm not on my phone, because I'm already on it so much. I want to give myself a break because I deserve it, and so do you. So don't make yourself feel guilty for that. You're going to be a better leader because you do that. You're not a bad leader because you do it. You're going to be a better leader because you do. Caitlin,
no leader Zoom next. No leader Zoom next week.
What?
No leader Zoom next week.
Oh yeah, really quick. We have to get on the other Zoom. But next week, Macy and I will be in at Winter Circle on Monday. So we're not gonna have a leader Zoom. I know some of y'all have a Zoom with Pam then. So we won't have a leader Zoom at all. And then we'll do a team Zoom, but I don't know. I might text Kelsey and see if we can combine with her. Or I know Amber offered to lead the Zoom too. So we'll see what's going on, because sometimes Taylor Kaufman leads Kelsey's Zoom. So if it's one of those weeks, I'll have one of y'all lead it. Otherwise, we can just jump on Kelsey's, and that'll be fine too. So thank you for reminding me of that. But I love y'all, and let's hop on the other Zoom. Text your team. Bye.